Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Dorothy Dorton with AARP. I'm AARP Alabama's Associate State Director of Outreach for Lower Alabama. Thanks again for joining me. And we are kicking off November with Caregiving Month. So today we are going to talk about resources for caregivers. And we've got a lot of information to share with you as always today. So please feel free during the broadcast to ask any questions in the comments. We'd love to get your questions and answer them for you as far as caregiving goes. And we'll also be showing you a lot of slides today about some information. And so these slides will, as always, be put in the comments section of Facebook once we are done. So we are going to get started. We've got two guests today who are going to be talking about our caregiving resources throughout the state of Alabama. And I'm really excited to have them. As a former caregiver myself, my mother and I were the main caregivers for my grandmother who had dementia for 13 years. This is a very near and dear subject to my heart. And I have two wonderful guests today, two wonderful ladies who are going to be joining us. And our first guest is going to be Della Sanchez. And she is a superhero today because she has actually been having some technical difficulties and she just jumped on. So we are so excited to have her on. But she's with the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission. And then we also will have Traci Dunklin, who is the Alabama Cares Program State Director for Alabama Department of Senior Services. And I want to welcome Della back today. And welcome Della back today. You may remember Della from our grandparents episode back in September, where we honored grandparents for Grandparents' Day. And Della is a licensed social worker with the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission and Area Agency on Aging. And so this organization serves Mobile, Baldwin, and Escambia counties. But Della's going to be talking about some resources today that are in some other areas as well. And I'm very lucky to have known Della personally and professionally for many years. And I can vouch for her vast knowledge and her expertise on all things caregiving. Della, thank you so much for joining us today, especially with all the technical difficulties. We really appreciate having you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Well, good. Okay, so here we go. Again, good morning, everyone. My name is Della Sanchez. I work for the Area Agency on Aging. I want to tell Dorothy, thank you for inviting me this morning. And yes, we are the Area Agency on Aging. And this is the place where you start your search for information on enriching your life, whether as a volunteer, participating in our online wellness classes, maximizing your Medicare benefits, improving your financial security, and finding home community-based services to help you age in place. This is a place where you contact us to learn more about Alzheimer's information, nursing homes, and assisted living. And we provide these services both by our staff, and we're partnering with agencies in the community such as AARP. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact the Area Agency on Aging if you have any senior issues. So that's us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Della. We really appreciate that. Y'all do so much, and it's really appreciative. And you know, there's not just this Area Agency on Aging down here in South Alabama. There are area agencies all over the state, and so please, we'll pop this number up here real quick: 1-800-AGE-LINE. That is where you can call and ask for your local agency on aging if you are anywhere in the state of Alabama. It's a great resource to have. And then there's alabamaageline.gov as well, that you can go online and see all the services that are available in the state and in your area. So Della, we would love to hear a little bit about one of the programs that you and a couple of other area agencies have in the state. It's called TruAlta. Can you tell us a little bit more about this really great service?
Sure. Okay, so the pandemic has affected everyone. And one of the things that the Area Agency on Aging was doing prior to COVID was we were having support groups out in the community where caregivers could come together, and we would have caregiver colleges and things of that nature where we could provide education and counseling and information for caregivers out in the community. Unfortunately, we'd have to rethink this now. So we're moving to a new program, doing the True Alta program, which is an online service. It's an educational tool that helps manage care at home. It's free. It's easy to access. You contact me. I register you. You need a laptop or a phone, and you can access it whenever you need to as a caregiver. As a caregiver right now during COVID or during any time, caregivers are always asking questions. Am I doing the right thing? I don't have any time for myself. Am I doing enough? What's the future have in store for me as a caregiver? But the Trialta program, this online free service, will provide a lot of those resources and will provide caregiver tip sheets, will provide classes for you to understand the challenging behaviors of dementia or other types of medical frailties that your care person that you're caring for may need. So I think it's really important for caregivers to continue to stay connected during this challenging times of COVID, because the questions are still there, the challenges are still there, and they're multiplied now with imposed self-isolation for the families and things, and they still need to reach out and they still need to have some assistance. So again, contact the Area Agency on Aging, ask for Della Sanchez. I can get your email address and I can register you, and you can log on whenever you want on your laptop or on your phone. Because with Trualta, you're going to find, you're going to learn about the new behaviors and how to handle them best, discuss your experiences from others, and find caregiver tips. It's a high quality professional contact at your fingertips, and especially it's free. So I really encourage caregivers to give us a call.
That is some great information. What a wonderful service, Della. That's wonderful. And again, I'm going to put up 1-800-AGE-LINE. And this service is available with the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission, as with who Della is with. And it's also available with the Central Alabama Aging Consortium, the Middle Alabama Area Agency on Aging, and the East Alabama Regional Planning Commission and their Area Agency on Aging. And you can find all of these locations and what counties they serve by calling the 1-800-AGE-LINE number or going to the alabamaageline.gov website. Della, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You always have such great resources, and it's just such a pleasure to talk to you today. And again, thank you so much, despite the technical difficulties, for joining us.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
So we do have one quick question. Here's a good question. Will Trualta, if you sign on to the Trualta platform, is it going to try to upsell people any additional services?
Absolutely not. This is a very secured website. It is just for caregivers that are accessing information. I send them your email. They'll say, welcome to Trualta. These are some of the courses that you can take. They're free. Here's some tips. Here's some music therapy. How is it that we can help you enrich your responsibilities as a caregiver? Because, one of the things that happens to caregivers is they're not taking care of themselves because they're putting all their energy caring for their loved ones. So no, nothing is sold to them. It's a secure website. And if sometimes you don't want to receive any information, you can always come off. But, we always have that option.
Excellent. Thank you so much for answering that. That's always a good question to have, and it's always really good to know that type of information, Della, that this is something that you've done, you and some of the other area agencies on aging have contracted with. So this is a free service to the people in the areas that you serve, and it's to help and support those caregivers. So thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
So what we are going to do, folks, is we are going to have a quick little break, and I'm going to show a video of our upcoming events, and then we will be back with our next guest. So hold tight for me. And we are back. I hope you saw some really cool events coming up that you'll join us in with. And now we are very honored to welcome Traci Dunklin. Traci is with the Alabama Department of Senior Services, and she is the state director of the Alabama Cares program. And she also oversees the grants for the Alabama Lifespan program and the Alabama Dementia Friendly Communities project. Traci, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you begin by telling us about the statewide Alabama Cares program?
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for having me. The Alabama Cares program is provided by, of course, what you said, the Alabama Department of Senior Services. It supports family caregivers with their efforts to keep their loved ones at home and in the community for as long as possible. It's our objective to emphasize reducing caregiver stress and burden, and we do this by including an array of support services. The program provides 5 categories of support services for caregivers, and these support services are not intended to replace the role of family caregiver by any means, but we want to enhance or support the caregiver's ability to provide care for their loved ones for as long as possible. So these core services provided include information to caregivers about available services, assistance to caregivers in gaining access to the services that might be available within their own communities. It includes individual counseling, education, training, and support groups, respite care services, and supplemental services on a limited basis. Last year alone, this program provided caregiver supports to over 5,000 family caregivers across the state. And of those caregivers, 1,368 received 103,000 hours of respite relief. So the Department of that is a lot of respite care.
Yeah.
The Department of Senior Services works in partnership with the 13 area agencies on aging, like you've described, and the local community providers. This program is just one of many that's available through the area agencies on aging, and Della happens to be one of our Alabama Cares coordinators located in the South Alabama region of the state.
Excellent. Yes, Della is so wonderful with the Alabama Cares program and so knowledgeable about it. And Traci, thank you so much. This is such a great program. And could you tell us about who this Cares program can help? Who can call in and ask for this assistance?
Sure. Our target population of family caregivers includes primary caregivers of frail and older adults, age 60 and older with the greatest social and economic needs, family caregivers of persons with Alzheimer's disease or related dementia that may be served regardless of the age of a person suffering with the dementia. We also target older relative caregivers, which include grandparents who are 55 and older, caring for children ages 18 and under. And then our last target population is older relative caregivers, which include grandparents and parents who are 55 and older, caring for an adult age 19 to 59 with a severe disability.
That is some great information, Traci. I had no idea that it helped so many people, and it was a service for, like you said, older parents who are taking care of disabled children. That I know is having worked in that field before with folks with disabilities. It's I know that is a huge burden and stress on those parents. And so it's so nice to have this service available to them as well. And to know with all the grandparents out there who are helping to raise grandchildren today, what a wonderful service. And this is a free service for anyone who can qualify.
It is. They can, I would encourage family caregivers to call the 1-800-AGE line number, like you said, and that's 1-800-243-5463, and they will then be connected to their area agency on aging. Individuals calling in will get a full assessment to see what kind of support services we can provide. They can also visit our alabamaageline.gov website website where they can learn more about not just the Alabama Cares program, but the other services that are available through the Area Agency on Aging.
That is just so great. And there are so many services that y'all do provide, and this is just one of many that is just such a wonderful resource, especially during this time of pandemic. And we actually do have one question that we had someone ask, and I think Della's back with us, so I'm going to add her back into the stream so we can properly say hello. Hi, Della.
Hey.
So one question I have, and both of you could answer this. How can people get respite services during this pandemic? You know, when it's really scary to have maybe someone come into a home or send your loved one out of the home. Are there still respite services out there that people can feel comfortable with?
Well, like you said, the pandemic has created even more challenges as family caregivers handle their role of caregiving. And you referenced National Family Caregiver Month. So I just want people out there to know that we, as a program, are making considerable efforts to increase awareness about the critical needs of family caregivers and to provide valuable respite support. There are decision guides out there available to family caregivers as well as providers regarding respite services. And so, again, I would encourage individuals to contact the AgeLine phone number so that they can be connected to their area agency on aging.
That's really great. That's some great information. So it's good to know that that's still available even during this time. So thank you.
I wanted to just interject here as part of the Alabama Cares program. We do have a partnership with the Alabama Lifespan Respite that helps provide respite to families out in the community. And it's a self-directed program. So family members can hire someone that they know, someone that they trust, someone that their care recipient is familiar with. So if they want to learn more about that, I encourage them to, again, call the AgeLine, try to talk to the ADRC staff, and we can certainly get them connected. So please have them call our agency and we can help them. Okay.
That's excellent. That's a great answer. Thank you. Thank you both ladies. We have another question here. Let's see. What's the most common need you hear about from family caregivers these days?
I might defer that to Della since she's more hands-on.
Yeah.
I think right now the biggest challenge is that they need a lot of support with supplies. That's a big cost for caregivers, and just not knowing where to go and where to turn to, and it's really hard that they haven't given themselves a break because it's very hard. And I think they just don't have the time to take care of themselves because they are not only caring for themselves, they may be also raising children and working. And I think now that so many people are working from home, there's just no separation. Everything is meshed. So I think the biggest thing is the guilt, really and truly, is taking time out for themselves is very, very hard because it's not like you say, well, I'm going to go have lunch with my friends. Well, you can't do that too much. You know, I can't get away with my husband because, again, COVID. So it's just very challenging to manage during COVID right now. So I think the biggest challenge is caregivers taking care of themselves and not being able to do that and not being so guilty about getting some respite and everything because they are, when they contact us, they have they've come to a big change has happened in their life. They just know that they can't do it by themselves.
Yes. And that's perfect. Quick segue, Della, into what you and I work with a lot is you do those great caregiver colleges when we can in person, but we talk about those resources. We talk about caring for the caregiver, and one thing that I do want to let people know is that AARP does have some caregiving resource centers. We've got a 1-800 number. We've got a booklet that you can get online called the Prepare to Care booklet that kind of has some helpful hints and tips and some great like checklists and stuff so you don't have to remember everything. So that's a really good resource to have as well. But you're right, Della, and especially now, we've gone through a couple of storms down here, and Zeta went through the whole state. And you mentioned supplies and things. I know that that's been really hard for people. And, I just want to, again, thank you and Tracy and everyone who is out there, providing these services and trying to, get these supplies and things to folks. Let me check the comments again. I think we had another question. Let's see. Well, here's a good question. Do y'all have any tips on what people should look for in a caregiver when they're looking to hire someone? Do you have any helpful hints, maybe?
I would suggest, just exploring individuals that you trust and you have, a relationship with, because lots of people are scared about just letting providers come into their home, and especially with the pandemic and the possibility of exposing, their loved ones to that illness. And like Della talked about earlier with Alabama Lifespan Respite, having the ability to provide that across the state now allows caregivers to hire someone that they know and someone that they trust, somebody that they already have a relationship with, and somebody that their loved one cares for and trusts.
I would also check references. I mean, this is an individual that's going to come in and be in your home or in your parents' home. I would certainly check references, and I think it's okay to, if it doesn't fit, it's okay. You can tell them that this isn't going to work out, and because sometimes some people just can't tell people no. But I think it's very important for them to have to check references and set boundaries. They're not they're companions and everything like that. But again, you are an employer, so you need to keep it as professional as possible.
Right. And it's that you are in charge. So that's a great question.
That's
and
right.
Here's another question. Is there a database of paid caregivers in the state? Are y'all aware of anything of that?
Alabama Lifespan Respite has a link on their website. They do not promote or endorse any provider or caregiver, but you can click on any county and there should be a list available of providers there.
Excellent. That's a great question. Thank you. Good answer too. And again, if you are looking at Alabama Lifespan Respite, Alabama Cares Program, 1-800-AGE-LINE, alabamaageline.gov is the place to go to look for that in your area and to get connected with someone. And there's so many things that Alabama AgeLine does, and I know you ladies are all about the caregiving and so great on that. But for instance, last week we had James Roberson on, who talked about the SHIP program with Medicare. Are there some other services that caregivers and their loved ones or older adults can maybe access through AgeLine?
Senior Services and the Aging and Disability Network collectively together develop, coordinate, deliver programs such as transportation, food assistance, legal assistance, prescription drug assistance, Medicare and Medicaid counseling, senior employment, elder abuse prevention. There are also other local programs available at the Area Agency on Aging for every community in Alabama.
That is just amazing. That's so great. It's such a great resource to have. We want to make sure that everybody knows about it. There were, a perfect example. There were some things James mentioned last week, as like you said, the drug prescription assistance that, I didn't even realize was there. And this is for anyone who is older who can call in and ask for that. So ladies, I thank you so much for joining us today. Any parting thoughts or words or before we end?
I just want everybody to just stay safe and we're going to get through this, and it's all going to be good. We just got to stay safe and keep a positive outlook.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for the opportunity, Dorothy. And we do want to recognize family caregivers and the contributions that they make. You know, we're seeing a huge rise in, you know, just isolation and stress and burden, mental health issues, but you're not alone. And if you need support services, please contact our 1-800 number and the ageline.gov website.
Yes, absolutely. And again, thank you ladies for what you do. It is such a joy to know that there are people like you out there who are doing what you do and supporting caregivers, supporting their loved ones. We had one more question, and I might even be able to answer this one, but it's does Medicare and Medicaid, it can be so difficult to navigate, and does Ageline Counseling help with that? And I believe, and ladies, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that they do actually. That's the SHIP program. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. We have yes, it's our staff is well trained in that, and as all the other AAAs throughout the state, and that is one of the biggest benefits that we have, which is ongoing all the time because somebody is always turning 65 or 62. So yes, that is a very busy department all the time. Yes, we can help people with that counseling. Yes.
Excellent. And I think the thing to note too, what's really important about all of these services is that you don't endorse, like you said, the Alabama Lifespan Respite doesn't endorse any particular caregiver or caregiving. Y'all are just here to guide and help and provide support and give people that non-biased information that they so desperately need to make the right decisions for themselves and their loved ones. So I think that's something that we really I really want to end on that and make sure that people understand that y'all are here to support and help. You're not here to endorse or sell. These services are free and they are here for those who need them. So again, I want to thank you so much. This was a great way to kick off National Caregiving Month. And
yes, it is.
Again, everyone, stay tuned. We're going to put up all of the slides you saw today in the comments on the Facebook session of this broadcast. So if you missed any of that information, you can go back and look at it. And, next week, our show is going to be on Veterans Day. So it's going to be a very, very great show of talking about veterans resources and what's out there for veterans on a national level. And so we're really excited about that. Again, I'll post these slides. Traci, Della, thank you so much for coming on. It's a month to be thankful. I'm thankful for you and what you do. So again, we appreciate it, and we will see y'all next time.
Yes,
so thank you so much.
Take care. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.